Hello dear Slaters. Hope you all are ready to start learning with our EVS sessions. Slaters, in the first lesson, we will be learning about different types of houses that we see around us. So Slaters, turn to page number 77. Ready? Now let's check the Get, Set, Go exercise given in the start of the lesson. Here they have asked few questions. Let's check them. Where would you see a building like the one in picture 1? So Slaters, look at the first picture. How does it look? Correct. It is big, strong and is made with several floors. So Slaters, where do we see such type of houses? Very good. In cities and towns. Now let's read the second question. Where would you see a hut like the one in picture 2? So Slaters, look at the second picture. How does it look? Nice. The hut is small and does not seem to be very strong. So Slaters, where do you see such houses? Correct, in villages. Now let's check the third question. How are these houses different from each other? So Slaters, from the picture we can see that both of these houses are made from different materials. They have different size and design. And both of these houses are found in different places. One is found in cities while other is found in villages. Now let's read the lesson. Komal and her younger brother Kuljit lived in a small flat in New Delhi. They loved visiting their grandparents' house in Jaipur. It is a huge haveli with a beautiful lawn. The ceiling is very high and it keeps the house cool. It allows air to flow about freely. The toilets and bathrooms are in the backyard. Their mother tells them that the haveli is very old. The kitchen in the haveli is also different from the kitchen in their flat. It does not have counters. In Grandma's younger days, women sat on the floor while cooking. Now Slaters, underline the word flat. F-L-A-T, flat. Flats are houses made in multi-storied building. Also underline the word haveli. H-A-V-E-L-I, haveli. Haveli is a big house with a lawn around it. So Slaters, in olden days, people had lots of space to use for making their homes. They used to make big havelis or mansions. The word haveli comes from the Arabic word hawali, which means a partition or a private space. Most of the olden time havelis have beautiful architecture or the way in which a building is built, and involved amazing levels of craftsmanship and creativity. Havelis are still seen in the old cities of Rajasthan and Gujarat. Havelis are surrounded by an open space and big lawns. The ceilings in these houses are very high. This allows better circulation of air and keeps the rooms cool. The kitchen is arranged as a separate room and toilets are usually outside the homes in the backyard. Now slaters, unlike Havelis, flats are made in multi-story buildings. These buildings have layers or floors with different number of flats. Here houses have all the areas in one home. Now slaters, you all have observed the differences among the houses in the rural areas like villages and urban areas like cities. Let's understand more about this as we read from the textbook. Houses in rural areas. Balaji works as a cook in Jyoti's house in Lucknow. He is from Telangana. His family lives there. He has saved some money to build a small house in his village. Balaji's family stays in a kacha house. It is made of mud and has a thatched roof. The floor is smeared with a mixture of cow dung and mud. The house needs to be repaired every year. During the rainy season, water drips from the thatched roof. Slaters, underline the word thatched. T-H-A-T-C-H-E-D, thatched. Roof, R-O-O-F, roof. It means roof made of straw. Also underline the word smeared. S-M-E-A-R-E-D, smeared. It means to coat something in a careless way. Underline the word kacha. K-A-C-H-C-H-A, kacha, house. H-O-U-S-E. So slaters, in villages you must have observed that most houses are small and made of easily available and cheap materials like straw, grass, leaves and mud. These houses are very simple as they use simple materials. However, they are not very strong. These houses usually have a thatched roof. This means the roof is made up of big leaves or straw. In many huts, people smear cow dung to the floor and walls to smoothen the surfaces. Cow dung is apparently waterproof and it also insulates the house and ensures that the house stays cool even during summers. Slaters, it is also believed that cow dung has the power to kill bacteria that are harmful to humans. Therefore, it prevents people from getting various diseases. Although these homes are very easy and cheap to make, they often require regular repairs after rainfall or strong winds hit these places. The rainwater often enters the house from the leaking roofs. Therefore, it needs to be repaired after a certain period of time. These types of houses also do not have toilets inside the homes. They are usually set up outside in the backyard. This makes it difficult for people to use them during the night time. Many people aspire to build pakka houses so that they can get relief from all these difficulties faced by them. Let's continue reading from the textbook. Balaji has decided to build a small pakka house. It will have 2 small rooms, a kitchen and a toilet. It will be made of cement, steel and bricks. Water will not drip from the ceiling. It will not need repairs every year. This is because we use strong and expensive materials to make Pakka houses. Balaji's children are waiting for the Pakka house to be ready. His wife Rajamma is happy because there will be a toilet inside the house. Slaters, underline the word Pakka house. P-U-C-C-A, Pakka. House, H-O-U-S-E, house. Also underline the word expensive, E-X-P-E-N-S-I-V-E, expensive. It means very costly. So slaters, due to various maintenance issues involved in Kacha houses, many people work hard, earn money and then build Pakka houses. Pakka houses are strong and sturdy compared to Kacha houses. Pakka houses are made by using materials like bricks, cement and iron. This enhances the sturdiness of the houses. But building Pakka houses takes time and are also expensive, which means they require more money. Pakka houses also have toilets inside the house, which eases the requirement of using them during the night. Now let's read the Did You Know section from the textbook. In some places like Rome, there were a few multi-story buildings even 2000 years ago. So slaters, as we discussed in our introduction video, multi-story buildings have layers or floors built one above the other. In our country, most of the cities now have these types of buildings. But in some places like Rome, these types of buildings were present 2000 years ago. The Colosseum structure in Rome, which is also shown in your textbook, is a 2000 years old building. It is a giant amphitheater which could hold around 80,000 people who came to watch dramas and gladiator battles. The Roman architecture and building were made with strong materials in multi-story levels even during ancient times. Wow, that is really amazing. Isn't it, slaters? However, in our country, we see many such buildings in our cities and towns too. Multi-story buildings are generally made of strong materials. Let's understand more about this from the textbook. Houses in urban areas. In big cities and towns, people mostly live in Pakka houses. These houses are usually made of bricks, steel and cement. These houses are strong and last for a long time. Multi-story buildings. In cities, there are independent houses and multi-story buildings. Independent houses may be small houses or big bungalows with a garden. Usually, only one family lives in an independent house. Multi-story buildings are tall buildings with many floors. Each floor has many flats. Hundreds of people live in a multi-story building. Many multi-story buildings sometimes have grocery stores, parks and gyms. This makes life easy for the people there. Slaters, underline the word multi-story buildings. Also underline the word bungalow, B-U-N-G-A-L-O-W, bungalow. Also underline the word gyms, G-Y-M-S, gyms. Gyms are places equipped with instruments for exercising. So Slater's Pakka houses are strong and last for long. Different designs of Pakka houses include independent house and multi-story buildings. These both designs differ with each other in many ways. Independent house is a single building in a given space. This can be a small house or a bungalow with open space and a garden. Usually, one family lives in this type of a house. Unlike the independent house, multi-story buildings are high-rise buildings with many floors. Each floor has 5 to 6 houses with a different family living in it. Therefore, it allows hundreds of people to live in this space. Multi-story buildings are also called flats or apartments when they are used for living. These spaces also have grocery stores, parks, gyms and temples for worship in their premises or around the building. Most of the families in today's time prefer living in these types of homes as it is a space with modern amenities, improved maintenance and many facilities. Now Slaters, although most of our cities and towns built Pakka houses, there are some very crowded areas with people living together. These places are generally very overcrowded areas with very poor basic services, below standard housing and are often very unhygienic. Slaters, unhygienic means not clean. These places are called slums. Living in such places can lead to bad health and hygiene. Let's read more about this from the textbook. Slaters, please turn to page number 79. Place your finger on the text as we read. Slums. Many poor people work in cities. They build small temporary houses near their workplace. These areas are called slums. In a slum, the houses are made of things that are easily available like plastic and tin sheets because they do not have the money to buy expensive materials like bricks and cement. The people in slums live in unhygienic conditions. Drinking water and toilets are not available. Stagnant water and rubbish cause mosquitoes and flies to breed there. Sometimes the government helps them to get better houses. Slaters, underline the word unhygienic. U-N-H-Y-G-I-E-N-I-C, unhygienic. It means not clean or not sanitary. So Slaters, people who come to the cities in search of jobs and earn money are unable to make Pakka houses for themselves. Therefore, they reside in these overcrowded places called slums. They use materials like plastic or tin sheets to make their houses as they are cheap or readily available. The conditions in slums are not very hygienic. These houses built in slums do not have proper drainage system for carrying away the dirty water. They also do not have basic services of getting drinking water, electricity, or toilets. These conditions leads to accumulation of water and garbage around these places. And Slaters, can you all tell me what happens when we have stagnant water and garbage around our homes? Correct. It becomes the breeding ground of mosquitoes and flies. These disease-causing insects further lead to lots of diseases in people who stay in slums. In recent times, government has proposed various schemes which includes provision of homes to people living in the slums. Slaters, do you all know which is the biggest slum in India? Very good. Dharavi. Dharavi is the locality in Mumbai, Maharashtra, which is not only considered to be largest slum in India, but also the largest slum in Asia. In recent times, this place also had the largest numbers of corona positive cases, as in these places they are unable to maintain hygienic conditions, and also they have no scope of following social distancing. Isn't it? So Slaters, with this we end our today's session. In today's session, we understood the differences between Kacha houses and Pakka houses. We also understood that Pakka houses are built in different designs which differ from each other. Slaters, I would like you all to learn the new words, their meanings and practice their spellings. I will meet you all in the next session. Till then, keep learning, dear Slaters. Thank you.